Marth, we're back in the saddle.
Hello, you're not very well, are you?
No, I think every episode we've recorded for about 2 months, I've either had a cold or a hangover.
And that is top quality podcast content.
Yeah, you're welcome, everyone.
On my notes, I've got ask Joel about mouth tape because we're all on tender hooks.
God. Well, speaking of Zig When Others Zag, this is not doing that. This is doing what everyone else seems to be doing at the moment. So,
Yeah.
So if you wonder what the fuck I'm talking about, this episode is called Zig When Others Zag. But I'm zagging a bit with mouth tape. I don't know if you're one of those people that gets served mouth tape ads all the time, but I am. And I snore, and I especially snore when I've got a cold. So I thought, mouth tape. Now, what actually brought it on is in Stranger Things, they call all the monsters mouth breathers.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is that? So I looked up why they call them that, and apparently it's really bad for you.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether we're in like a world of pseudoscience here, and actually as long as you're breathing, think yourself lucky.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of creators who I trust talk about the actual scientific benefits, and I feel like that somebody's got to have looked into it, right?
well, your nose should naturally filter more than your mouth, I think.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then there's also like circular breathing and the fact that you should really be breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, and what athletes do, and instrumentalists, and blah 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 blah. But I just want to be able to get a better night's kip. So I've tried it once, and a cold came on in the night, and I woke up in a mad panic and couldn't breathe, and ripped it off and took half my moustache with it. So far, not great.
No. I've heard that it helps if you have one of the nose opening. It's just another thing to buy. But that, because I tried that last night, I was just like holding my nose up, and I was like, why is my nose so rubbish at taking in oxygen without me having
What
to?
the fuck has happened to us evolutionary wise? We can't actually breathe properly.
Surely evolution makes you better, not worse.
Yeah, well, it's because we were engineered by aliens, right?
Right.
Caveat, I don't actually think that, just in case anyone thinks I've gone full Stephen Bartlett. I'm not there yet.
But do you believe in the Loch Ness Monster?
Do I believe in the Loch Ness Monster?
Yeah.
Do you want to open this can of worms?
Why not?
Well, I'll give it 2 minutes and then we better actually talk about some marketing. I really like cryptozoology.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Loch Ness Monster is necessarily one.
Bigfoot?
Because they've looked so hard for the Loch Ness Monster.
And it's a limited area, right?
Yeah, well, it's a massive area, but
it's got a bottom.
Yeah, I mean, there is like rivers that run into it and stuff, but I think they'd have found it. But every year they discover like a fairly sizable creature that when they think they've already discovered everything. So, like, I know that insects and stuff, it's not as surprising, but when they find a new primate or a new lizard is actually impressive.
Bigfoot?
It would be wildly mental for there to be a big primate either in the Himalayas or in, like, the forests of America. But all the sensationalism of these programs where you get blokes, like, banging on trees and making weird wailing noises into the woods... Like, as fascinating as that is, it's a bit, what other animals behave like that?
Or you just see a guy clearly in a suit run past a screen and they're like, we caught him.
I watched a good program the other day. It was people looking for the Tasmanian tiger, which did exist, but has gone extinct in our, well, not in our lifetimes, but in the last 100 years. But people still see them quite frequently, so
they're not extinct?
Well, they might not be. Do they see them?
But how do you know?
That's interesting. I like that. And that's happened as well, where things have been declared extinct and then
like a phoenix.
They've been found a phoenix.
No, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. I was going to say.
Oh, I was going to say like they're definitely not real, love. Like,
no.
Fuck off.
Oh, you didn't let me finish. Anyway, marketing.
Martha's always zigging when others zag like a phoenix. The reason I say this is like. I'm seeing more and more people jumping on trends. Now, if you jump on a trend because it's a bit of fun and you want to G your stuff up or you just fancy it, you do you. Like, that's fine. if you're jumping on a trend and expecting measurable marketing results, I think you're going to be disappointed because by the time something's become a trend, you're too late.
Yeah, you've got to be on it because otherwise everybody just looks and thinks, oh.
Yeah, like there was a massive one when I was at uni, but everyone started doing the Harlem Shake, and then offices started. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then offices started doing the Harlem Shake, but by the time, I mean, Man City famously did it in their changing room, but by the time they've done it, if you do it for your accountancy practice in Shrewsbury, it's probably not going to land. People find it funny, but they're not going to actually.
Yeah, but who finds it funny? Like kids at uni or like people who are going to buy into your accountancy business?
Oh, I tell you what, it's tricky that. Because if I didn't see an accountancy practice do it, I'm just telling a tale as such. If they did, I would have quite liked that.
Yeah. Even now?
Well,
not the Harlem Shake. Yeah,
now, so
actually, yeah.
It's quite cool. That. But, like, there's an element of, like, oh, these guys don't take themselves too seriously, even though it's a really serious subject that they deal with, which I quite like. But that might just be me, like a little bit of anti-establishment. Like, there's plenty of people like, just fucking do my books.
Yeah.
Like, stop shaking around.
Yeah. My books are late and you're shaking around.
Yeah. Exactly. I haven't had my management accounts, but you're dressed as a dragon, like, booty calling people on the table. Like.
Yeah, you do open yourself up if you're not delivering and you're doing stuff like that to criticism.
Yeah, stop fucking around. Do some work. Yeah.
I can tell you about like one thing I hate, and this is like kind of just, I don't know, like organically. When people do a photo dump, I'm like, can you just think about what you're saying? Like birthday dump. I'm expecting to see like
we've got a client that I really like, and I may be speaking at his event on Friday who does that every week.
But it's like, I'm expecting to see
his
shit.
partner is a content expert and she does it every week too. So you are creating trouble.
But
you're allowed to open your mouth. Stand up for yourself.
If I said to you, I'm going to do a dump, what do you think I'm doing? And so if you put on Instagram, birthday dump.
So you just don't like the word dump?
Yeah, I think it's the word dump rather than the actual content. It's the name.
I've never used the word dump in that context, although I know what it means.
But wouldn't you,
because I was all about like dumper trucks when I was a kid, dumper trucks and dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And so I'd be gutted if like, but I guess that's where the word comes from because you're dumping a load.
But like, can you see what I mean? Like if you load Instagram and the picture didn't load and someone put the caption birthday dump, what are you thinking it's going to be?
Do you know, you shouldn't post your actual birthday dump, but if you do, there's some fun to be had there.
Yeah.
Not for an accountancy practice, but
no.
Yeah. Yeah, I do know what you mean. Like, it used to be like Happy Hump Day. People used to do Happy Hump Day, and I mean that could mean a number of things as well. I'd be like, what do you mean? We're halfway through the week, so we're celebrating. What is it you hate so much about your fucking life that we're doing that? It's weird. And, like, there was a ban at Code Break because like there was staff here at one point that might have been into Happy Hump Day, and I was like, stop fucking doing that. Like, all you're telling the world is you hate your jobs. Like, it's shit. Like, Friday.
Yeah.
We haven't got to do any work this weekend. Like, fuck you.
Do you know what I hate when someone emails me on a Friday at like 11 and they're like, happy weekend. I'm like, what? I'm still working. Like, you've actually made me sad.
What is weekend?
Yeah.
I do not understand
when?
this concept. When weekend? Yeah, and like that whole like trend fatigue, by the time you're doing it because you've seen 100 other people do it, it's not cool anymore. Make up your own trend.
Yeah. I'd also say steer away from trends with your ads because it's not scalable.
Yeah. Use proven tactics.
Yeah. Because like, oh my God, amazing, this ad's running really well for a week and now I'm back to square one.
I suppose if you've got a really short-term campaign and somehow you're on the pulse, so you knew about Harlem Shake before everyone else.
You are Harlem.
Yeah, you are Harlem and your mate is Shake. Yeah. Then there is an argument that could be a really effective ad campaign, but you'd have to be on the pulse, and I hate to tell you, most people are not on the pulse, me included. Like, in some ways, like, I like to think I'm really on the pulse because I'm so into like films and music and like being ahead of things. But that doesn't make other people think you're on the pulse. That just makes other people think you're weird. So it's like you can never truly predict what the next viral thing is. Like, I love this Irish comedian at the moment. I think he's called Garen Noon, and he's like, "Follow me, I'm delicious." That's how he signs off every TikTok he does, and everything is just a rant. He's a musician as well, actually. He's a really talented musician, but bloody hell is he a funny man. And everything he does is a rant. So he was like ranting yesterday about how he hadn't had any snow, but the rest of Ireland had had snow, and he just wants to build a snowman. But if he had had snow, he'd be moaning about how much snow there was. And I was just like, this is brilliant. Like, and then at the end, "Follow me, I'm delicious." And it just like, it tickles me. And he rants about all the things that you think in your own head, but never rant about. Like, oh, there's less chocolate buttons in a pack of chocolate buttons now, or whatever. You know, it's just stupid stuff. But if someone else now tries and "Follow me, I'm tasty," or like whatever, it's just like, it'll be shit.
Yeah.
Like, he did it first. And in lockdown, there was a girl that learnt to skip, and then she got really good at skipping. And there was a trend where loads of people started skipping, but she's still going now with like millions of followers.
Yeah, did she monetize that? Is she doing like skipping
she's like,
classes?
She's like sponsored by Adidas, and does like loads of like collabs and stuff. But she did it.
Yeah.
Like, and equally, if you then went, "Well, I'm going to be the pogo stick person," too late. The skipping girl got there first.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. And so you kind of got to like find, it's so hard to do.
I'd also say, like, I don't know her personally, but I'd say she's obviously got some sort of passion to be able to sustain that growth.
Some sort of passion.
No, but do you know if
something terrible?
Oh, go on.
Well, as is the case with entrepreneurs as well, sometimes you've got to be quite a special person to want to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I fall into that category, and I think Skipping Lady does too. That's all I'm going to say, like digging myself a hole. So
yeah, you have to have a certain level of super focus.
Yes, that's good, Muff. That's good. That's a positive spin on how weird I am. But yeah, you can't blindly follow these trends. You've got to be like, what am I trying to achieve? Not. And also, like, why are you pissing about? Like, and I see this a lot. Like, I've been in a lot of masterminds over time, and my resolution this year is I'm just sticking. And then anything else I do, I'm just going to invest heavily in like one-off things that I think will massively benefit me.
Yeah.
And the reason being, it's a bit of 80-20 really. You go into a room at any mastermind, and 20% of the room are implementers. They take loads of notes, they apply it to their business, they go away and try things. And 80% are like fucking around, as in any walk of life. And so in their head, they're like, "Oh, if I can just be silly and still get paid, wouldn't that be brilliant?" And they see people online being silly and getting paid and think it must be easy. But what they don't realise is like the Logan Pauls of this world, Skipping Lady, whoever, are doing so much work to get that one video to land.
Yeah.
And it's repetitive. Like these people, I keep getting served these videos where someone will like flick a playing card across the room and it will land perfectly between two CDs, which then knocks a golf ball into a hole. And they have to do like 67,000 attempts to get it, but you only see the...
Do you think some of that's AI generated as well?
Probably is now, but it wasn't.
You know, you see the pictures of like oranges and then they turn into like piglets or something, and people are like, "Ah!" And the comment section is always so funny because there's the people...
Oranges that turn into piglets?
Yeah, or like anything. It's like a bit of
That's
fruit
terrifying.
and then it will like transform. Yeah, it is horrible. Like, well, it's not... It just isn't the nicest thing to watch. Not in like a gruesome way, just like in a confusing... Because you went very well.
Yeah, Hannah's tried some new delivery box organic vegetable thing. We always do it in January with a discount code. And they sent us some free blood oranges. Didn't turn into a piglet. Nothing to do
Would you
with
have
Zigging and
wanted?
Zagging. Do you remember Zig and Zag?
No.
Oh.
Cocoa Pops. No. Rice Krispies. No, that's
Snap Crackle Pop. Zig and Zag were the mascots of Channel 4's Big Breakfast, which was a show in the 90s.
Kids show?
No, weirdly, it was a breakfast show on in the mornings. But whereas like ITV and BBC have like the news, Channel 4 had like quite an adult, laughy, fuck aroundy TV show. Like Denise Van Outen and presented it at one point, and Johnny Vaughan, I think his name is, and various other famous people presented it. But their mascots were Zig and Zag, two alien.
Did it
puppets.
make up the 4 thing? The Zig, I'm thinking. No?
No. No.
Mr. Trick.
They, I think they released a song and everything. Like, yeah. You'll Google it after and think, Jesus Christ.
I was 9. No, sorry. I was born in 99. So I was.
You were born in 99, yeah.
I was not even 1 in the 90s.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what would be comparable for you to understand. Did like CBBC not have any mascots? It was Otis the Aardvark when I was a kid.
I don't know. I can't retain that kind of information.
I beg to differ. Right. So, yeah, I think you're better off looking at timeless strategies. So, you know, like post-COVID, there was this trend where everyone thought they could do a webinar. And some people really can do a webinar. We've got some clients that can smash a webinar. And like, I quite like a webinar. But some people are stinking at webinars and should never go near them. And so thinking about timeless strategies that people have used before, like direct mail campaign with a follow-up call, or running ads to a lead magnet to follow-up call, or lead magnet to nurture sequence, or direct to purchase. So if you've got a good e-commerce store, why wouldn't you run direct to purchase rather than overcomplicating it? Or having a stand. Like, weirdly, we've had sign fitters in the office today, and the guy was telling me about his business, and his dad fits tints on camper vans, so you can make them darker inside. But the problem with a lot of camper vans is the windows are plastic, not glass, on the big bit at the back. And so the tint vinyls that you would normally use on a car don't work because the plastic expands in the heat. The tint will fall off. But he saw some special material, and he's like one of the only people who can distribute it in the UK. And he was like, oh, given what you guys do, I reckon you could really help him. And I was like, the first thing you should do is go to some camper van shows. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, it would cost him far less to have a stall at a camper van show, demonstrate his vinyl, and see if there's actual demand. And once he's proven there's demand, then come and do ads.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because ads were the shiny thing, trendy, everyone's doing them, that was their first port of call. I was like, no, prove the concept first.
Yeah, especially with that demographic, dare I say. Also, like, I'm thinking, do people want a tint or do they want curtains? I don't know. That's what he needs to figure out.
It's tint. And the reason it'll be tint, given that my mum likes camper vanning, is that it gets hot.
When the light comes in?
Yeah.
I see.
So if you tint the glass, you reduce the heat build up inside the van. So
are you going to tap up mum for...
Her van's too shit for this kind of thing. / broken / maybe never coming back on the road again. So.
Really? I thought you had...
Yeah, let's not go into that. It's depressing. So, yeah, I think like you have to reframe your success metrics for your marketing. So it's like, oh, this got loads of views. Great, but if you can't turn views into something tangible, sales, it's just vanity metrics. And there's an argument for vanity metrics sometimes where like, oh, I want the brand to be seen and to make an impact, and I want the team to feel like they've done something creative or funny or engaging. But you have to remember that that's what it is. And if you then like, oh, our marketing's been really good, but our turnover's gone down, well, I'd argue your marketing hasn't been
as good as you think.
Yeah.
And like, what instantly, like, I remember seeing a load of those videos on TikTok that was like, my marketing manager will give me a pay rise if I get 100,000 followers.
Oh God, yeah.
And or like this video.
A day in the life of a day in the life of a content creator.
But that was coming on my For You page, who would never have bought into that business. So even if they're targeting anybody who's watched 50% of this video, it's not reaching the right people, because the people who are watching that think, I want to help this girl get a pay rise because whatever reason she's like me.
Yeah. The whole like and share this to win a Rolex. Those people are never going to buy from you. They're the people that enter all the competitions on Facebook.
You need a wallet
all you're
opener.
doing is increasing the the views on your page from people that were never gonna be customers. Great, you've got 10,000 followers who don't give a shit about you.
Yeah.
Why have I got 10,000 followers but I only get 4 views on every post? Well, because you asked them all to like and share when you gave away a Rolex 3 years ago, and now you've got a page full of dead wood.
And that will affect your marketing for years. When you're if you go to any ad agency or you run your ads yourself, and they're going to want to run a warm audience, and they're like have palpitations when the warm audience is way more expensive or gets no sales compared to the cold audience.
Yeah, and then I immediately go, "You've been buying followers."
Yeah, or you've been doing something weird.
Yeah.
Or whose account was this before?
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, "Oh, how'd you know?" Well, so yeah, I think you've really got to like know your audience, not the trend. And rather than trying to be reactive and keep up with the Joneses, think what's going to work for me. And that might be something funny. It might be something that could potentially be viral, but it doesn't need to be. And it's better to be popular to a few than sort of whimsically liked by loads of people but never get any sales.
If you've got a personal brand as well and you're jumping on trends that don't align with your
company,
values, then you're going to struggle with the people you attract.
find that really strange. Like, a guy's come to mind at the moment who I met at an event. I've got to be careful what I say. Got an established brand. He's a tradesman, respected, got good reviews. No, not a client of ours. Just so like no one's thinking what's going on here. And his brand's quite clean and polished. And he added me on Facebook. And without getting political, his Facebook's a horror show. I was just like, even if I agreed with you, I think you're fucking mental. Like, why are you posting this shit? Who's it for? Like, most of the people on my Facebook are either prospects, clients, friends, or family. Why would I like start posting like hard left or hard right political shit everywhere? Like, it's weird.
Yeah, you need to lock down those profiles if you're going to do that.
Yeah, and like, yeah, it was actually making me. I guess because I looked at it and then I got served it more. It was actually making me feel uncomfortable. I was like, and there's loads of this online at the moment on both sides of the political spectrum, but people sharing stuff that isn't backed by fact. It's just like snippets or sensationalized bollocks. And if you're thinking, well, this will get me attention, and therefore, you know, any attention's good attention because you almost have to upset people to get people to like you, kind of thing. That is not the way to go about it. Like it, and it's almost a shame where like it's now trendy to be polarizing.
I think people have seen like Donald Trump's so like you're with me or you're not.
Yeah, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Jeremy Corbyn to an extent, if you wanted to look at the other side of the coin, where it's like Bernie Sanders would be an American example, where it's like the views are quite extreme and unbalanced, and so it is like, yeah, you're either with me or fuck off. Which I know in some senses with business, you do have to be strong enough to be like, know your tribe and know who you're trying to appeal to. But then if you do know your tribe really well, why are you trying to jump on trends? Because you should know what your tribe wants, not what like your nan thinks is funny on Britain's Got Talent. And that's because that's what like Harlem Shake is, isn't it? It's essentially the masses are finding this funny. There was a song that came out, I don't know, 20 years ago, 15 years ago. What does the fox say?
Yeah, I remember that too.
And like that went massive, and then everyone started doing like
Gangnam Style.
Gangnam Style's another one, and you're like, yeah, but those trends appeal to the masses, and that's not what you're meant to be doing with your business. But equally, don't just be a prick to try and get the odd few people over the line.
It's a fine line, isn't it?
It is a fine line, Marth. So, what's your biggest takeaway from my several rants in the last 25 minutes?
I need to brush up on my 90s trivia.
Yep, I can help with that.
Can I claim myself as a 90s baby?
I don't know. Like, people find it weird with me because I'm 87, so I'm not. I was only 2.5 come 1990, but all my reference points are the 80s because my cousin was older and I grew up with him. So people sometimes, I mean, appearance aside, people sometimes think I'm older than I am. Because like, even if you come to my office now, like there's He-Man and stuff in there, but that was before my time. So like, it must be weird for you because you're learning reference points from me now, which are like miles off. Although you do think everything's related to Karate Kid.
No, that's just a funny.
It's not funny, Martha. It's offensive. It's my childhood you're
I've never
with.
watched it.